I believe the phrase, the thrill of victory, agony of defeat, has never applied more than looking at the 2023 Arizona Diamondbacks postseason run. It was one magical and special season. Even though it didn't end in the way which we had wanted to, there are many things that we can always look back on and find enjoyment in. It all started with the Arizona Diamondbacks tearing it up first half of the season. We were the team to beat, we were feared, and we rose victorious over anyone who was in our path. There was some turbulence coming out of the All-Star break, so that meant our backs were against the wall since July. We fought tooth and nail, and we ended up finding ourselves in Milwaukee for the NL wildcard. With the lowest of expectations being set, the Arizona Diamondbacks stifled Milwaukee, sweeping them in the best-of-3 series. Even though many were shocked, we were still casted off as now we had to face one of the most experienced and dangerous teams in the major leagues, in the LA Dodgers. Since the first game of that series, the Dbacks were on a roll and never looked back, completing yet another sweep against the Dodgers. Now, the Dbacks had changed the narrative. We had to face Philly. Just 2 weeks ago, many had thought we would have gotten swept or pummeled. But we had set ourselves as a legitimate opponent. We marched into Philly. And Philadelphia halted pretty much all the hopes and dreams that all D-backs fans had. We went down 2-0, and we headed back to Arizona. The D-backs tied the series, lost Game 5. So now it was up to us to win both games to advance, and we had to do it in one of the most hostile environments. But the Arizona Diamondbacks were no stranger to pressure. We had been fighting since July. We ended up winning both games, and we would now be NL champions. The Arizona Diamondbacks, for the first time in over 2 decades, were back in the World Series. And this team was special. This is not some fluke. This is a team who deserved to be there. And now we were facing the Texas Rangers, a team that I, for one, had winning it all. I wish I was wrong. We lost Game 1 in a heartbreaking walk-off home run. But Arizona bounced back with a commanding 9-1 victory to tie up the series. But as fate would have it, that would be the last glimpse of an Arizona victory, as the Texas Rangers would take all 3 games to close out the World Series. Really, one of the most heartbreaking losses, especially for this team. I mean, as a fan, and not just a fan, a passionate one, who's been waiting his entire 15 years of life to see a victory, to see a parade here in Arizona, just some sort of glimpse, some sort of hope. It was all crushed. But there's no anger, there's no ill will, especially towards Texas. Just a feeling of disappointment. And that's natural. It's okay to feel disappointment, obviously. But I think one of the most things that I'm feeling right now, and I've been going through the past couple of days, is just not showing too much, is really how proud I am of this team. And I think everyone in Arizona should be. This is a team who wasn't expected to be in the World Series. Hell, 2 years ago, we were the worst team in Major League. And so was Texas. I mean, we got to give props to Texas. They just outplayed us. Outplayed. So many those games were grudge matches, but we just didn't come through, especially offensively. They did. And that's, Game 5, we had runners in scoring position almost every inning, and we just didn't come through. That's not how you win games. And that goes along with being an inexperienced team still. I mean, this is our first time in the postseason, let alone the World Series. And you look at the other side of the ball, Corey Seager, he has been there before. And look what he did. He came through in such major ways for that Texas team. And if he wasn't there, that series would have been extremely different. Marcus Semien was extremely clutch. They just had guys out there who were more prone to succeed in that situation, just due to their experience. Not to say, we had some veteran guys, but none of which had been in such a situation. Longo is the only person I can think of. But even though it didn't end the way we wanted to, there's one thing I can really guarantee, and that is we will be back. You look at this team and you compare it to 2017 and 01, and I've seen a lot of comparisons, but no one was really talking about the type of team it is. This team was built off of our farm system, with the exception of a few veteran pieces we've added and have kept over the years. This team isn't a win now mode. We were in a rebuild, and we vastly exceeded those expectations and the stage we're supposed to be in for a rebuild. The fact that we made the postseason, let alone the World Series, is major. And, time's not running out on us. Maybe on a few players on our team. I think some changes are going to be made, probably pitching-wise. You got that third base situation. But other than that, this team will be back. I honestly believe that the Diamondbacks showed that they could be the best team in Major League, and I think they are. When we are at our peak, when we are on a roll, we are the best team in the league. Even though we lost to Texas, I still think we can be better than Texas, and I think we are. We just didn't show up. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. It was unfortunate. It was heartbreaking. But this team isn't going anywhere. We are going to be back. I can promise you that. So, I'm sure there's a lot of sorrows going on here in Arizona. But I think it's time to move on, especially as we head into this offseason. We can always look back at this run we've had and enjoy it for what it is. That's going to be it. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.